Welcome back to Ferox Frank Reviews. Yes, folks, I know it's been a long time since I've actually done a video. What can I say? Been very busy lately. Like I'm saying by who or from what. I will say this. Today's video, it's dedicated to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. A wrestler who's been perceived as the GOAT, the Phenom, the Dead Man. And who would that be? It's none other than The Undertaker. Oh, yes. I did say I was going to do something that was WWE related. Although originally I wanted to do WrestleMania, but that would have been too long, and I got thrown into a ton of shit literally for the last couple of months. So, yeah, so to make up for lack of not making any videos lately, I'm doing a video based on this WWE special on The Undertaker. It's called Undertaker, He Buries Them Alive.
Trust.
Now I know what you're thinking. The Undertaker is considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He is the GOAT. He is the best of the best. He also has the longest winning streak in WrestleMania history. Like, seriously. But also, to be fair, I do have to mention Brock Lesnar, even though he is the one who first broke the streak, he did not want to do it. Yeah, Lesnar actually said that he was against the idea from the very beginning. Out of respect for The Undertaker, he never wanted to break the streak. But word came down from the top to break the streak. He did it, and he was very angry. And, well, let's just say that he and Vince were on really not good terms after that. So, yeah. So, go figure, right? The thing is, Undertaker is the one pro wrestler that demands the most respect amongst everybody. I know what you're thinking. Should I be talking? Now this DVD special actually has about maybe five matches, pretty good ones per se. But I know what you're thinking. Should I be covering Tombstone instead? Yeah, that'll be the next WWE thing I'll be working on, but not today. Today we're going to talk about this one special that's actually hosted by Ted DiBiase himself. Yes, the $1 Million Man, amongst all things. And I gotta be honest here, when I was a kid, pro wrestling was all kinds of fun. Even though it took me years later to realize it was all fake, I still found it was entertaining as all hell. So, with that being said, that's better. I don't know why I was off-centered there for a second. But, that being said, let's talk about The Undertaker's 5 matches that are on this thing. Now, oddly enough, they all take place over a span of several months, which is a little bit weird. And the first match is actually not even on the Tombstone DVD, which I found is actually very disappointing. Because this should have been on the Tombstone DVD. I mean, seriously, if you look at the Tombstone DVD, there's so many matches on this damn thing. I mean, these are some of Undertaker's greatest matches. And there's some really good ones on this one, too. So why wasn't it on the other one? I have no idea. So, all joking aside, if there was like the ultimate Undertaker greatest match in the DVD set, it would be, I don't know, just speculating here. The DVD set would probably be about that thick. No, not even. Maybe about that thick, if you get the idea, right? I mean, seriously, The Undertaker's been doing this shit for over 30 years, okay? And he has had a ton of matches. I mean a ton of matches. And honestly, there's a reason why he's arguably my favorite pro wrestler of all time. So, yeah. Me doing this thing about The Undertaker, it's saying a lot. And, wrong DVD. So, let's get down to it, shall we? So, the first match on this thing is called Undertaker versus Undertaker. Yeah. Oh, yeah, if you guys are trying to figure out why I'm actually wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin hat, I got this on Raw literally the day after WrestleMania 20. Not even joking. I literally got this the day after WrestleMania 20 on Raw. Yeah, my buddies and I, we went to Raw the day after WrestleMania 20. That actually did happen. My buddy Troy from Troysville can tell you all about it. It actually happened. Actually, now that I think about it, Troy, if you're watching this, we got a problem. I think I know the next thing we're going to review. But all joking aside, let's talk about the Undertaker versus Undertaker match. And yes, it's right here. Look at that. There's two Undertakers. Now, why is that? Well, apparently during one of the matches with Yokozuna at some point, Yokozuna actually defeated The Undertaker and buried him alive. And at some point, he said The Undertaker was dead and gone. But then Ted DiBiase brought The Undertaker back. But there was something a little bit off about The Undertaker. It was just very weird about him. He did act like The Undertaker, but it was weird because it also didn't feel like The Undertaker at the same time. But yet, in the end, The Undertaker, Paul Bearer came back and said that you're not The Undertaker. I got the real Undertaker. He's going to bury you with that. Doing this stupid spiel thing. And SummerSlam, it was announced to be Undertaker versus Undertaker. So Ted DiBiase has this Undertaker ready to battle, and Paul Bearer comes up with the horns, and yeah, the real Undertaker showed up. Now, I know what you're saying. Now, there was a rumor going around saying that the Undertaker, that Ted DiBiase's Undertaker was the original Undertaker, and the current Undertaker we have is his replacement. I'm going to be honest with everybody here and say that is all false. That is 100% pure grade false. All right. The Undertaker we've actually had since the beginning, and we had since then, is this one, Mark Holloway. Yeah. Everybody knows who Mark Holloway is now. He's, like I said, he's a GOAT amongst all pro wrestlers. Okay? But seriously, the thing is, the other Undertaker is actually another pro wrestler who actually had the same body type, the same figure, and also, give this guy credit, the same tattoos as Mark Holloway. He had the same hairstyle, the same goatee. He fucking did everything. So I don't know who the other Undertaker was, and I'm pretty sure there are other fans who may have forgotten who the other Undertaker is. Some people actually said it may have been Kane, but no. Kane's 7 feet tall. Mark Holloway is 6'7". All right. Another thing too that's a little bit weird is that Taker versus Taker match. The DiBiase Undertaker is actually 6 foot. It's somewhere between 6'5" and 6'6". A little weird. But yeah, either way, we have two Undertakers going at it. And for the life of me, I was trying to figure out why this wasn't a WrestleMania thing. But then, thinking about it out loud, it hit me. Undertaker versus Undertaker, it would kind of fuck up the winning streak, wouldn't it? So, yeah, maybe it was a good thing that this was a SummerSlam thing and not a WrestleMania thing. Because if it was, it would be a massive fuck up on the record. Am I right? But either way, both Undertakers actually finally go at it, and they are, well, it's pure old school pro wrestling at its finest, and this is like pre-Attitude Era, mind you, okay? Okay, so this is like I said, this is pre-Attitude Era, this is early 90s stuff, okay? So this is like the golden age of pro wrestling. So we have our Undertaker versus DiBiase's Undertaker. They go back and forth, and yes, when they're both down, they both do the stand-up thing, like the Michael Myers stand-up thing, like. Oh yeah, they keep going back and forth, like chokeslam after chokeslam, and then our Undertaker. But here's the thing: DiBiase's Undertaker was actually going to hit the tombstone, but our Undertaker reverses it and does the tombstone on the guy. But no, it wasn't enough. No, he takes his hand, picks the guy right back, grabs the guy by the throat. You think he's going to do a choke slam? Nope. He picks him right up and does another tombstone, and then he does the same thing over again. Yeah, he gives him 3 tombstone pile drivers in a row, and then he drags him into the casket. Of course, he pins him first, and then he drags him into the casket. So yeah, this marked the return of the true Undertaker, which is Mark Holloway's Undertaker. So yeah, it was a pretty. So yeah, it was a pretty good match. Next one is actually versus Kang. Now, who the hell's Kang? I kind of forgot who he was at some point, but then again, I think of him as kind of like a Lucha Libre version of Tajiri. What do I mean by that? Remember what Tajiri used to do, like with the mist coming out of his mouth? Yeah, he had the red mist and he has the green mist. Yeah, apparently Kang was the first one who actually did that in WWE's history. A little weird, but whatever. So yeah, they go back and forth on the whole thing, and at some point, Kang actually finally puts the green mist on the Undertaker. But here's the crazy part. Right, Undertaker spits the mist right back at him too, and thus he delivers a pile driver, gives him a tombstone, wins the match. You know what? I know wrestling is staged, but you can't make this shit up. You have to watch it for yourself. The next match is actually a pretty surprisingly really good match. All right, this is actually Taker versus Yokozuna, the rematch, and this was actually the final match these two actually had of it, because it was actually a casket match. And this one was a unique casket match because you're not going to believe this, but I couldn't believe this was actually a thing until I saw it. I totally forgot about it because I hadn't seen this special in a couple of decades. But I was shocked. To make sure that nobody... Here's the thing. Every time Undertaker and Yokozuna actually went at it, apparently somebody would always interfere. So, for insurance, guess who it was actually there to make sure nobody interfered with the match? Chuck Norris. I shit you not. Chuck Norris was right there. He's outside the ring, right by the ramp, making sure nobody comes out from the ramp to fuck it up, okay? Oh, my God. Ace dressed up as Walker, Texas Ranger, too. He's there. He's like... Yeah. I was just shocked to see... it's really shocking to see... just seeing Chuck Norris in this whole situation, and Taker's in the background fighting Yokozuna. I was like, okay. What? Oh. Wow. Mind blown! Oh my God, teenage me who saw this shit. My mind just exploded from seeing this shit. Oh God, it was good. To be fair, this was a really good match, though. All joking aside. Now, to be fair, Yokozuna is actually freaked out by the whole casket thing. So yeah, Yokozuna's men tried to actually interfere in the match a little bit, though, but of course it backfires. And King Kong Bundy and two other guys tried coming down to actually go walk into the ring, but Chuck Norris is right there to make sure, and he gives them the eye going. Somebody actually tries to go down there, and Chuck Norris literally sidekicks the guy. He goes flipping around. Whoops! You got kicked by Chuck Norris. He means business, dude. Don't mess with Chuck Norris. No. Anyways, eventually, well, it turns out those three guys were actually distracting Chuck Norris because of the fact one of DiBiase's men came in and actually attacked the Undertaker and knocked him out cold. And okay, Yokozuna was actually about to put him into the casket, but Taker eventually wakes up and actually beats the crap out of Yokozuna. And eventually, Yokozuna actually gets put into the casket, and thus Taker wins the match. So yeah, it was all joking aside, it was a really good match. Chuck Norris did his job. Taker won the match, and enough said. The next match afterwards is actually Jim the Anvil Newhart. So yeah, part of the Hart family. And before you say anything, no, Bret Hart does not make an appearance. Nope, not Bret Hart. Owen Hart. So yeah, like I said, this was the early 90s. Okay. All right, and well, the thing is, the match is pretty blasé a little bit, but it's an okay match. But the thing is, it was never fully completed because Undertaker freaked out Newhart. Actually freaked out the Anvil, and he actually walked out on the match, and he got counted out. So yeah, always count on the Undertaker to play upon mind games, and when he does, you'll be shitting your pants. Anyway, the last one is actually kind of a downer because it's Jerry the King Lawler. Yeah, Jerry the King Lawler. This is kind of weird because Jerry Lawler actually commentated on the Undertaker versus Undertaker match. And the thing is, as the DVD goes on, basically he's been talking shit about the Undertaker the entire time throughout most of the DVD. And, well, this is Taker's revenge on him. He basically, he defeats Lawler in that one relatively easily. Why? Because he's the Undertaker, and Jerry Lawler is a bitch by comparison. And just anything this DVD tells you, don't fuck with the Undertaker. Do not. Just don't. All right, there's a reason why he's called the Dead Man and the Phenom. Okay. Whew. Anyway, that's Undertaker. He buries him alive. There's a couple of other Undertaker specials that were actually made. There's one also on Netflix too. That's sort of a how do I put this? One of those choose your adventure type things. But it's mostly you. And your buddies trying to survive the Undertaker's home. Which all I can say is good luck on that one. Like the most popular Undertaker special is obviously Tombstone, which eventually I will probably get to this. But right now, I just wanted to talk about this one because it was the first DVD I actually bought that was actually licensed. That was actually a property of the Undertaker himself. And like I said, the Undertaker is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers ever. Because of the fact that he was winning streak, and he's also a GOAT, and he's the most professional wrestler ever. But seriously, a lot of people are wondering, how great is he? Well, I'll put it this way. You ever watch Monster Jam with all the monster trucks? He's basically Gravedigger. Yeah. A little bit of a weird, kind of weird saying that, but that's probably a pretty decent comparison, am I right? Well, anyway, I finally did a movie review that was actually a pro wrestling review of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So, yeah. Look, don't worry, I will do a full-fledged movie review next time, alright? What movie am I going to do next time? I'll put it this way. We have comic book movies, we have Superman coming out next month. So I figured maybe I should do a comic book movie. A special comic book movie on one of the GOAT superheroes that started it all. Oh yeah, I think it's about time I do something about one of my favorite comic book characters. So anyway, this is Buries Frank. Wishing you all best health. Wishing you all well. And I'll see you next time here on the Buries Frank channel. And no, I have no idea where the hell Joe is. He's completely MIA at this point. Rex, most likely we'll get a video done next week. Alright? So then, y'all take care.